you like this video, click like. If you want to continue to follow our adventure, hit subscribe. Your support would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, how's on the road, subscribers and followers? So we're here at the Francis Marion National Forest, and just down the road from us, about 2 miles, there's a state park. It's called the Hampton Plantation. And we had really no idea what it was. I mean, we know what a plantation was, but so we went down there today and did a little self-guided tour, is what it is, of the state park. Now, what you're seeing right this minute is me redoing the first part of the video because the video I took was damaged and I couldn't use it, so I'm redoing it. So I'm trying to remember all the specifics of the first part of the video. But what it was is right at the beginning of the self-guided tour, there was a plaque that read that from the 1700s to the 1800s, this plantation house, Hampton Plantation House, used over 100 slaves at any given time throughout its history. And it produced rice and cotton and was a major revenue stream for South Carolina at the time. And gave it a lot of economic boost. It also showed the hard labor conditions that the slaves had to endure, and the tiny, tight, boy, the mosquitoes are terrible, living conditions. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and just run right into the tour that we took. And I apologize that my first part of my video got damaged, but everything I'm telling you here is basically what I said in that part. So anyway, here's the tour. Okay, so here they have identified a spot where a slave cabin would have been located, and it would have been 20 by 30 feet, so not very big at all. I struggle to believe this is 20 by 30 feet. I'm gonna pace it out. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Well, that might have been. Okay, so I'm going to leave the spot where the slave house was, going down the trail a little further. They said this plantation was as far as the eye could see, picking cotton. Terrible times. The open wetlands before you so this is, they said the open wetlands here, there's the wetlands. Before you was a rice field established in the 18th century known as Manfield. Descendants of slaves planted rice here until at least in 1915. Oh, so even after the slaves. Using methods that their ancestors would have recognized. Generations of people, first enslaved and later freed, produced millions of pounds of rice, the source of the Hamptons' wealth. For 150 years, if you stood here on a day of growing season, you would have witnessed the grueling grind of plowing, planting, hoeing, tending, and harvesting. The work in the flooded fields and the intense sun was not just strenuous, but also risk of exposure to lethal diseases. That would make sense. I mean, it's hot here. You're out in that sun, it gets really warm. Yeah, the mosquitoes are everywhere, so I can imagine lethal diseases. And so we'll move on. Like I said, Carolyn is just blazing a trail here. She is just in love with the history that we get to come across. And a lot of these things we don't even go and look for. They just kind of show up in front of us. So there's There's a video. I'll put a link to that video here. Right, let's see, I guess right here. Anyway, I'm doing it backwards, sorry. Tuskegee Airfield in Tuskegee, Alabama. And we just happened to stumble on that one. That one was really neat. So, anyway, so I'm not wasting your time. I'll keep shutting it off, turn it back on until I get to a new spot. So, that is some of the swampy area they would have had to have worked in. And so you come up on this little hill that they built this dam. See, this is a dam here. And then the other side is just mud swamp too. Recognizing this area has got alligators, so, you know, that's kind of weird to me. Back to the other side. The mosquitoes are terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible. Okay, so here we got more water on both sides. The water is moving. I don't know why it's moving, but it's moving. And there's more water on this side. There's a bridge here. How cool is that? Carolyn's frightened to go across, so I guess I'll go first. If I fall in, I'll throw the camera to Carolyn so we can still save the footage. The alligators eat my leg though, so. Safely across. Okay, the trees of South Carolina are just incredible to me. I mean, just an old southern, you see these kind of trees in movies type of thing. And Spanish moss is hanging off of them. I couldn't even tell you what kind of tree this is, but they appear to be ancient. It's just like kind of that, you know, spooky. Look at that tree. Incredible. I wish you could get the full scope of this tree. So, what do we got here? Instead of a chimney, picture a small wooden house. Picture Sue Alston, the daughter of a freed slave. Picture her son Will living here and growing rice to feed his family. After the cabin was removed, Will worked for the South Carolina State Park Service. Wow, this is the state park. Sharing his story, a story of 6 generations of Alstons, enslaved and free. That is cool. Though it was not here during the era of slavery, the chimney is a visible link to the story of enslaved people at the Hampton Plantation. It is all that remains of the Alston family house. That there's close connection to this place continues. So, see if I can get this to get into the. So there's the house, the chimney, which is now there. Here we have the Alston family remained at the Hamptons and caretakers. Will Alston, 1913-1992. Wow, that wasn't even long ago. Pictured here. Was a park ranger at the Hamptons till his death in 1992. That is absolutely amazing. Sue Alston, Will's mother, spent much of her life looking after Hamptons and his people. In addition to working as a cook, housekeeper, and field hand and tour guide, she also was also a leader in her family, community, and church. That is amazing. I mean, that's like recent history. This is just incredible. I love being able to link the past to the present. That is just amazing. So the Austin house was removed 1979, built in 1937, and served as a family home for more than 40 years. Look at the car. I mean, I remember growing up with cars like that. Amazing. So it looks like we're heading up to the Plantation house. I'm not sure if this is a paid thing. If it's paid, we probably won't go, but we're going to head up there and see what we got. So this is the Plantation house. I'll read it here. Can you read a house like a book? With every board and brick, Hampton Mansion reveals a story of the people who built it. The outside is grand and sophisticated, inspired by the 18th century English designs. Plantation owners built their homes to show off their wealth and status. Look closer and you'll see that builders used local materials and details like the raised basement and large windows to weather the hot southern climate. What you may not see is the human history written here. Generations of families, the Horays, the Piccaninnies, the Rutledges lived here. Their grand home would not have been possible without the labor of hundreds of enslaved people who worked at the Hamptons. That's a huge house. I'm not sure what we're allowed to do here, so we're just going to go check things out and stop when we're told to stop. So this is underneath the porch here, and I guess people sat underneath here to keep cool. I don't know. Really neat. It's an entrance into the basement, I guess. Fascinating. Just think, I'm walking where people walked hundreds of years ago. Well, it appears that the tour in the house is a paid tour. So, of course, you know, we try to stick to free as much as possible. It keeps us out here to see things like this longer and more cheaply. So, I can't get over these trees. Just look at the tree. Right here. Where's my hand? There. I love these trees. That Spanish moss. But anyway, so we're going to head on back. We've really enjoyed our visit to the Hampton Plantation. We learned a lot. And as we all have come to expect, it was, you know, terrible times. And definitely glad it's over. So anyway. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Click like if you liked the video, and happy travels.